Can we discuss something that people don't prepare you for? You're going to change, which means that you're going to have to accept a newer version of you. I think a lot of times life is hard because we are trying to drag outdated versions of ourselves into new seasons. Ooh, she's starting already. But before I do, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then let's chat. Very much giving I want to talk, but go. Like and subscribe. Go. Go. Listen, you are going to change. Let me explain something to you. We only know external changes. Oh, my foot grew, which I had a whole situation like, how you still growing and you already an adult? You grown. That don't make no sense to me, but that's between me and the Lord. We talk later. Okay, great. So external, feet, weight, maybe where you are in life, maybe height. I don't know. There's some new stuff happening in these streets. Who knows? Okay, great. And so you'll start to be like, oh, even some people fight that. You got things in your closet you can't wear. And you like, it's going to be my motivation. No, it's going to be your money waster. It's going to be in the Goodwill. Okay, great. Somebody's going to be thrifting and be like, oh, I love that this still has a tag on it. Shouts out and courtesy of you. Okay, great. That's how that particular thing works. But you have to get to a place that you understand. I am going to change, not just an external, not just the weight, the taste. And did you know that your palate changes? I had to get to this. Your palate changes. Your taste bud changes every decade, which is why as you grow through life, you like, when I was younger, I didn't like, and now I love. And you just are passively going through change, not even being aware that you're changing. Your taste change. At one point you wanted to be out in the streets and you wanted to be outside so bad. Now you like outside is expensive and it's actually giving cold and it's actually giving cooties and it's actually giving like, I'm okay. Or you know, you don't like driving that night no more. Or you know what? You just don't like all that loud noise. Like now you understand why grandma was like, you're in or you're out. Because all that commotion all day long, no, you're not. You're not doing it. But the biggest thing for me is if you don't understand that you're changing, you won't be delicate to yourself, and you are supposed to be the softest version of you. You are supposed to be the softest person to you. A lot of the times you beating yourself up, not realizing I changed. Yeah, at one point I was able to work 80 hours a week, no sleep, go ahead and get it. And now I can't. At one point, I was cool with hurting people's feelings, cutting them off, doing whatever. Now I want to have a conversation. At one point, I was cool with nobody supporting me because, you know, nobody's coming to save you. And now I want somebody to cheer for me. Now I want to at least see one cheerleader as I play all 4 quarters, like what we doing. You have to understand that you're changing. And what starts to happen is the litmus test to it, and you not realizing it, is you start to ask, what's wrong with me? I was stronger than this in other seasons. This didn't bother me before. Yeah, had such and such said this before, I would have been clap back queen, ma'am. You want it? You got it. Let's go. Like that would have been the vibe, right? But now you like, what's wrong with me? No. Something's happening in you. What's growing in you? What's changing in you? What is God shaving in you? What's the thing that's happening that it's like, yo, at this point, it has to be God because you don't know that version of you yet. And so instead of fighting it, instead of trying to be more strong, instead of trying to be more cold-hearted, instead of trying to be more of anything, why don't you just sit down and learn more about you? Hey girl, how you doing? Who are you? Yes, giving emotional intelligence. Talk nice to yourself. Be soft with yourself. Understand yourself. Ask yourself, reveal me to me. And more so, ask God, what is the originating purpose of me so that I don't fight me? Fighting you looks like you dragging yourself to do stuff that it's like you don't realize you don't got the grace for that. Litmus test so you don't have the grace for it. It feels too heavy. It feels too heavy. You over there trying to do stuff that it's like, you don't realize that it feels like you trying to move a mountain literally. And everybody else looks like they're walking on sunshine. You don't realize you feel like you sitting in a pot of boiling water and everybody else looks comfortable. You don't realize, oh, why don't you start to see, God, can you reveal me to myself so that I don't fight me to stay where you are no longer present? Do you understand that? Accepting you means I accept any version of me that God is trying to introduce to me. Your phone updates, things that you pay for in a monthly subscription, that increases. All these things change. Seasons change. Sometimes city names, all these changes, and yet you won't accept when you do. And change only happens because it's saying, hey, what this currently is not going to be able to sustain where we're going. Yeah, we need to do something different here because when we get there, we'll be ill-equipped if we stay this way. So yeah, where you're going needs to be, where God is taking you and what He's called you to needs to be. It is calling for a different person. But if you go ahead and smuggle that, then you'll be ill-prepared when you get there. So accept that you're different now. Accept that, yo, I used to be out all the time. Now I want to be, okay, accept all of that and start to grace and create a space for yourself where you feel safe with you. You don't want to be laying down. You're like, all right, got to get up. Like, why? Where you run into? What you needed in that prior season when you had busyness and you didn't understand the value in relaxing and sleeping and resting and making sure that people didn't pull on you. What you needed for that season you had. Don't take that over here. Leave that winter coat over here. It's summertime here. Leave that bikini over here. It's wintertime here. Learn enough about your surroundings and your soul to know how to accessorize yourself for where you're going. So this is my challenge to you. Accept yourself. You're different. Spoiler alert, you're not even going to remain the same. There are some things about you that are going to change even now. But the beauty of it is to love you and to welcome you and to be actually able to introduce you to anyone because you're okay with the change. See, we get scared of change because we think that everything else around us is going to change. No, you're changing so that you can be morphed into the actual person God always called you to be. But there were some situations and things that happen in your life that it's actually on you. And so change is simply God washing it off of you. God making sure that that wound doesn't go ahead and keep working through you because you only mean like that because of what happened in your teenage years. You only act like that because of what your mother said. And there's certain things that He has to wash and get off of you. You call it change. He calls it perfection. That's how I made you. Yeah, it's almost like you were the white tee that was once white, but you got so used to being brown that you didn't even know you needed a couple of more rinses, a couple of more wash cycles, a couple of more detergents, a couple of more real like elbow grease situations to get back to your perfected manufacturer default. And you like, I'm not brown all the way. No, you're supposed to be a white tee. That's what you were intended to be. So take this as your sign to accept yourself. Okay? All right, listen, I feel like you got what you needed. You know what you're supposed to do, right? Did you like this video? Subscribe to this channel. Okay, great. Do the YouTube stuff because we're here now. How would you say? What's my podcast? Okay, thank you for asking. Strive. The letter N, inspire, strive, inspire. Everywhere you could possibly listen to something that should be listened to. My Patreon? Okay, look at you. Strive, the letter N, inspire on Patreon. That's it. But you have Patreons and podcasts and other things to listen to, and I'm not going to stand in the way. I'm not going to stand in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and let you let me go. We talk later. Later.